Yo, Jackson here. Welcome back to the daily endeavors for the 21st of December. We've got a 10 seal set, extracting 12 items at an enchanting table. It's just deconstructing glyphs, that one. Afflict 15 enemies with weapon poisons, kill a player in Cyrodiil, clear one Oblivion Portal, requires Blackwood, and then complete 3 stages in the Infinite Archive. Good. I don't want to see 3 cycles anymore. It's fucking stupid. 10 seals, it's still pretty insignificant, but yeah. Fucking half the time it'll take that 3 cycles on. Not the greatest stats still though. A lot of these are painful. This one here is probably the worst of the extract or like deconstructing ones, because you can't just pick up stuff, and it does cost a fair bit trying to find stuff to deconstruct, as opposed to just like making one thing and deconstructing it a bunch of times with one resource. Right, so I'll talk about this one first, but before I do that, I will say with Christmas going on, there are some discounts. The expansions are going on sale again, which is good. It's 66% off Gold Road and all that stuff. So again, if you want to get this stuff, this is a great time. I think they will go on sale again early next year, but I doubt the sale will be better than this one. It will probably be the same, but yeah, it won't be better than this. This is about what you get. Same with this stuff here. It's unfortunately gone are the days of the 50% off Crown Store sales. I personally don't think any of this is worth it anymore. I mean, maybe if you're crazy enough to buy, like, spend fucking $120 on this one to like. All I would really do myself, if I still needed to do this, would be get this one, and then as each of the DLCs go on sale for like whatever they get, 30% off, do that, because like everything in this game, it goes on so fucking shitty sales. Like it just, I feel like it's only really worth it, like going as far as you can, being as patient as you can, and just like buying everything for scrap, basically. Because yeah, this is 40% off, which is still crazy considering it's like fucking $200, and all the DLCs, the biggest sale you get for those is like 30%. So yeah, but yeah, it's your money, you know. I can't really tell people what to do with theirs. But yeah, I doubt there will be any better sales than this. Maybe at the start of the year, because Christmas is around. They expect everybody to buy things now, right? So they're probably not going to check the prices down. But I have not seen 50% off in a long time myself. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the actual endeavors. So this one, there's a couple of ways to do this. There's sort of like the expensive way, that's the quickest. Definitely the quickest by far is go to any enchanter. This one here in Vocal Guard in Crystal Vial is an example. Talk to him. Now they sell glyphs themselves at max level, like my character's max level. They are quite expensive. These ones here, the monumental ones at max level, this is like the lower one that you'll get. 262 gold each, so it's going to be like 3,000 gold in total to buy all this stuff. For 10 seals, that's I guess acceptable, but you know, it's going to depend from person to person. If you don't have a lot of gold in this game, then you're probably not going to find this is very good value. But yeah, that's probably that's usually what I do to get through this one very quickly, because you can just buy a ton of these things and just deconstruct them that way. So I'll just go 6 just to show you an example. So here you just go D6 and then press the extract all button and then do that. So you don't have to extract them one by one. So that is one way. The next way, and the only other really way I would suggest doing this, is buying a bunch of runes and sort of creating your own runes, or creating your own glyphs, sorry. So there's a lot of different ones you can create. And if you... So you got the 3 types, right? You got the sort of brownie aspect runes, you've got the green essence runes, and then you've got the blue potency runes. So these two, every time you find a rune stone, you'll get one of these each that you can use to craft with this stuff. And then the blue ones, sometimes the rune stones will give you one, but not always. However, in this day and age, that's not too bad, because you can buy them here. It's still quite expensive, getting some of these high level ones, but the good news is the lowest level ones, the Jode and Jorah, these ones here, these two are very cheap. They're only 30 gold. So most of the price you're going to be spending is just like getting a couple of these to do with these. Now the only annoying thing about this is it's one rune per. Oh, it's one of each rune per glyph. You can't create multiple glyphs from one rune like you can with alchemy. So yeah, so you'll probably find like it's way quicker getting runes from guild stores. You can go out and find some rune stones. I will just show you what a rune stone looks like. I know most people probably do, but just in case you don't. And yeah, just most of the time you'll probably be better off spending a bit of gold on some runes in guild stores, and then getting your potency runes from the enchanters. So some suggestions on good ones to use. Basically for greens, don't use any of these three. Don't use any of these two, and maybe don't use fire either. Everything else is fair game. The regen ones, most of the weapon ones, like poison and stuff like that, they're pretty good. Mape's really good. It's like below 10. Now, I used to say Oru was a good one, right? But it's like 20 gold a piece. I don't know what the hell's going on, but they've jacked up in price a lot. Okori is a good one because they're like 15 gold each. Yeah, Meep, Kuoko, Frost is usually pretty good. These two regen ones are good. Just basically because these are writ ones. These are used in writs. That's why they're more expensive. These are used in basically all the meta builds all over the place. They increase physical and spell harm. This is the fire glyph enchant, which is used on basically every meta build. And these are DLC ones. Hakijo is like a meta PvP enchant as well, and Indeko is like one that you only get from Tiguri. So these ones here, do not use them under any circumstances. These ones are way more expensive than any of the other ones, even Oko, which is still astronomical considering how common these things are in the overland. So yeah, basically TLDR, any of these ones here except for fire. Don't use these. Don't use these. Maybe don't use this. When it comes to blues, I think on it, because regardless of your enchanting level, you can just go one, and you can use the Jorah and Jode ones. Any of these two, these are fine. And then for the coloured ones, these ones here, the aspect runes, I would only use Jojota, because you look at the cost of these things versus any of the other ones. You've got, these are quite cheap as well, but white ones are hilariously like way more expensive than these two. Almost like getting as expensive as the purple ones. The reason for that is this is the only ones used in writs, so everybody uses these anyway for writs. This is the first one that isn't used for writs, so this is usually the one you go for. And you can use this one at... Actually, you know what? That might be a problem. Because you can only use tar. Oh, actually, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It says can use common and standard. Yeah, cool. So you can use Jojota, that's fine. So yeah, just buy Jojota, but like for your own good, man. Seriously. So yeah, Jojota, anything that isn't these three, fire or the two DLC ones, and Jorah and Jode. Go with those ones. You shouldn't have any dramas, I don't think. So we'll go Koma. We'll go Makoma. Actually, no, we'll go me. I personally like Oru myself, even though it is a little bit more expensive sale average. This is probably the least used essence rune in the game because it's the potion one. There's like so few builds that benefit off of reducing potion cooldown. Maybe like clever alchemist builds or is it Arcasis Genius, the one that when you consume potions gives you ultimate? Is it this one? Yeah, when you drink a potion in combat, you gain 44 ultimate. Aside from like those two builds, basically, like potion speed is like kind of not great. It's okay for sustain, but like the main thing about potions is the buffs they give you, and reducing their cooldown isn't relevant because you can get the full uptime of them without any potion cooldown. So it's just kind of a wasted stat in that case. Look at me go talking about bloody meta shit. Alright, so this is what a runestone looks like. So just look for the orange glow on the floor. And yeah, you just look for a little arch thing with a little circle with that's on fire. So these give you runes. And as you can see, they don't always give you the purple ones, which is annoying. Champion of the Crucible. Okay, materials. So, two things to consider with regards to guild traders. You can buy runes. Oh god, don't buy Hakejos, love of god. But you can also buy Glyphs. And in these cases, like, you can buy cheaper ones than, like, 100 gold's still a lot. But you can also just buy Glyphs to deconstruct yourself. And these will be cheaper than the max level ones, like Monumental are 260, I believe. But that's still quite expensive considering, I mean, for the actual game itself, it's not bad. But yeah, you can buy them yourself straight out, or you can just buy runes. You go Enchanting here, and you can choose from specific runes as well. But yeah, you might have to search a couple of guild stores at least, because not everyone will have like, they usually have like the expensive ones, because everything else is kind of like not important to not valuable. Yeah, so Oru, Denima, yeah, so you got some cheap ones. Some Chijotas you can buy, but for 10 gold each though, that's kind of weird. Yeah, there's some Donatus there, but you need to be a certain enchanting level to use these. Not very high, but yeah, still higher than 1. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, Jihada as well. It's not too bad for Jihada, but that's the max level one. So yeah, you can buy them from guild stores and Glyphs. So that is another way, if you don't want to go out and have to find some. Alright, so once you got what you're looking for, just go... So this is an add-on. The craft system will look similar to this. Yeah, so you'd go through, deconstruct whatever you found or bought. You can find them in the overland, but it's like not really reliable in any way, because it's no way to actually just get one. You can do main quests for like the Cold Harbor quests for the Prophet. Each one of those does give you a glyph, and there's like glyphs you can get from leveling up characters early on, but you only get one at a time. It's quite a slow process, so that will take some time. So I'll just make 6. I need 3, do I know? Just 3 crushing, and just stick to those. Not great for XP gain because you're deconstructing your own stuff, but you know, you're not really worrying about XP here. You're just worrying about seals. So one last thing about glyphs before we go onto the Infinite Archive one is if you do this, if you go to Enchanters on a low-level character, instead of getting Monumental and Superb glyphs, you will get much cheaper ones, Inferior and Petty especially. Sorry. Is it Petty or Inferior? Inferior is less. Oh, sorry. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, sorry. There's one more below this. The name escapes me, but there's one that's slightly cheaper. I think it's like 36 gold or some shit that you can buy them for. Yeah. So the lower you can get a character to buy these and do this, the better it'll be, because the monumental ones are very expensive compared to these. You just buy you buy 12 of these, it's going to be like 500 gold or 1,000 gold instead of being multiple thousands. So in this case, just buy 12 of those. It's 900 gold instead of being several thousand, and just check those. And yeah, much better doing it that way. But yeah, I know not everyone's got access to a character at low levels, so yeah, if you've got access to that, it'll be better. Okay, so next up we'll talk quickly about definitely not 3 stages in the Infinite Archive. Also do weapon poisons at the same time. So Infinite Archive is great because it's free. So if you want to find this, you go to any way shrine, go out to the main map, go Apocrypha, and you find it here. I don't think you can actually travel here in Apocrypha itself. I think you actually have to travel via way shrine. So yeah, even if you don't own Necrom, which is the zone for Apocrypha, the DLC for Apocrypha, you can travel to here at any time. It's like a base game thing that they added a little while ago. Alright, so 3 stages in the Infinite Archive. This will be quite fast. Stages are sort of... So the way Infinite Archive works is it goes a stage, and then a cycle. So it's like stages are 2 small rounds of like just regular enemies, and then a cycle will be a boss. So in this case, you do 2 stages, a boss, and then a stage. And probably should take 10-ish minutes. Probably quicker if you've got a decent damage field. While you do this, what I would suggest is getting your hands on some poisons and putting them on your bar while you do this. Crown lethal poisons, you get these from daily rewards quite frequently. Yeah, there were some. So you should have gotten some this month. Unless you've been an absolute lunatic and used them all already. Yeah, you should have some somewhere. So what I would do is just hold on to those, put them on your front bar. Have a skill, like, for example, Blade Cloak, that applies the ability, or just light attack everything every now and then. Also, things like Wall of Fire should proc them as well. The only thing about Wall of Fire, I believe, is it won't apply... oh yeah, no, never mind. It's to these enemies. It should be fine. But there's one poison type, the hindrance poisons, the ones that slow movement speed. They don't work on target dummies, so it's worth keeping in mind there. At least as far as I checked. Cloak is good. Now I will lose a bit of damage using this, so I wonder if I should. Yeah, fuck it. Just using it for the sake of the endeavor. So the reason you want some damage skills, so blockade's good, this one's good, because the way poisons work is they apply from 20% of all light attacks, heavy attacks, and weapon abilities. So the damage from Wall of Fire and the damage from Cloak will apply your poisons as you're fighting. And the good thing about this is there's multiple enemies that you fight at once in the archive. So you'll have generally higher than just like 20% chance. Well, I mean, it's still 20% chance, but it's going to be multiple enemies at once that get hit. Okay, so there you go. So I've already applied one. That's good. Alright, so... Oh, wow. So you'll always get a couple of melee enemies and a ranged enemy, and then it'll sort of change to all sorts of random enemy types. Yep, there's another one. That's very loud. I've got an add-on that... at the bottom left, like near my skill bar at the bottom on the left, you see the poison. So it tells me if I got a poison on, and it'll give me a little ding noise when it applies it, like that, So it's just helping me keep track of when my poison is available to apply next, so that when you do it at target dummies, it will just allow you to apply them whenever they're off cooldown, so you're not just waiting. That you're not just in the dark about it. I will also explain that add-on after this, when I get to poisons. Right, it's good to go. Really good. It's basically a Velidreth proc, but like reskinned. And it applies like really quickly. So whenever you light attack, it does Velidreth, basically. For those not familiar with Velidreth, it's just like a forward-moving proc effect. And it does a ton of damage to enemies in the line. The only difference between this and Velidreth is that it keeps going instead of exploding and expiring on one target. So it's even better than Velidreth. Hold on to your let's see if... Yeah, it did apply it before. Oh no, it should be fine. Yeah, hold on to your ultimate. Usually, when you go through, when you're on the second stage, because the boss is coming up, so you want to hold it for the boss. Right, Wolfang. Probably should have picked change to my damage build, but it is Arc 1, it's not a big deal. So yeah, light attacks also apply the poison. Ah, all done. And then, oh sorry, not all done. The boss is done. So we got one more stage to do, and then we should be done. Okay, so that's stage 3 done. We're all clear on the Infinite Archive stages 1. Sequential sealed. It's renewable. Yeah, don't even need to get that. Just leave now. So yeah, almost we got quite far through this one. This one takes ages usually, just like sitting there doing nothing while you just wait for this thing to the cooldowns to go down. That's the issue with the poisonous cooldowns. So let me just go. Actually, no, I need to do something else first. Alright, so if you're in the market for poisons to use for this, you can buy them from alchemists. They're less expensive than Glyphs are, definitely. You do need a couple more, but yeah, it would be a lot less expensive. It would be like 500 gold instead of like 3,000. So, now my suggestion is if you want to do the target skeleton route for this, don't buy cloudy hindering ones because they don't work as well on target skeletons. These ones here are what you want. But if you're just going to do archive, you probably just want these ones anyway. It's no big deal. Yeah, I usually use these ones, or I use the crown poison ones because you get tons of these things all the time. Basically, every monthly reward cycle, there'll be one that's like crown lethal poisons at some point. Okay, so I've got a house here on NA where I've just got a bunch of target skeletons here. I know most people aren't going to have this kind of luxury. If you don't have access to target skeletons, your next best bet will be, I'd say, public dungeons like Forgotten Crypts. Crow's Wood has a bunch of wolves that you can kill. One of my favorites is usually Crimson Cove. Crimson Cove is one that a lot of people use. This one's good. Lion's Den is actually really good because there's tons and tons of DC characters in here. But, you don't have to do that sort of thing. You can just go to, for example, the Starved Plain, because there's tons of ghosts that you can attack with poisons. You can use them. You can just use any... You can go to... you can do Dolmens while you do it. You could do that instead. You could go to the Oblivion Portal and do it while you do that, which I'll explain in a minute. But basically, just... You don't need to use target dummies. It's just that I find them to be really convenient. So if you can find a house that just has a bunch like this, you can... I suggest that. But yeah, nothing wrong with using public dungeons, or even like the group delves or Skyreach in... Skyreach should be great too. Yeah, any of this stuff in Craglorn. These delves with the plus icon, these have like tons and tons of enemies in them too. So these can be good too. Because these aren't instants, just keep that in mind. Only Skyreaches. So yeah, all I do with this is I stand in the middle and I cast Blade Cloak. And so every time it resets basically. So at the near my skill bars, you'll see the poison number there. So it gives me the cooldown of when it goes down, when I can use it again. This is an add-on. The add-on is called Poison Tracker. It's this one here. So what Poison Tracker does is it tells you the cooldown of your next poison, because naturally you don't really get an indication of when the poison is on cooldown, so you can use it again, because that's going to be most of your time spent in this one, just waiting for the poison cooldowns to go down. Because if you read here, at the end of where it shows the poison weapon tooltip, it says 10-second cooldown. So you'll have to wait at least like 140 seconds to do all these. That's a couple of minutes long. So knowing the cooldown and when you can just like recast AoE skills, weapon skills to do this, like Whirlwind or Unstable Wall is another great one, because that's basically just an AoE spammable skill, is good. So you can find this add-on, Poison Tracker, on ESO UI. Unfortunately, console, you're fucked yet again. You can't get add-ons. Now, this one doesn't work naturally right now, but there is somebody in the comments who went into detail on how to fix it. It's just like basically going into the INI and changing a few, like basically replacing a word with another word, essentially, and then it works again. So it's not like you don't have to be you don't have to be a rocket surgeon to be able to use this. Like it's a very simple fix. Just basic understanding of how Notepad works, basically, or how INIs work, really. But it basically explained in that. So yeah, that's what I'd suggest for this one. Yeah, if you want to use my house, you can go for it. The best way to use it would be use the Go Home add-on. Download this one. In the keybinding section, put my name here, put account primary house on, and then set a keybind to it and travel to it. So my house is open, should be available to you. It's just that you can't move anything, and not that I want to. I don't want you moving my siege weapon out of the way of the door. Okay, so next up we've got Oblivion Portals. So you need Blackwood to do this, and you can only find these in the Blackwood zone and in the Deadlands. So these portals here are what you're looking for. So you can hear them from quite far away. They make that noise from relatively far away. You can see the tint on the ground before you can actually see the portal usually, especially at lower graphic settings. So you just step inside. So if you want the information on how to find these portals, you go to Alcast. It's got this guide here. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot how fucking loud these things are. So yeah, you'll find you just look up Oblivion Portals ESO, and this will be the first thing that comes up. So all these locations will have possibly a portal in it. They won't always be in all of these locations. Sometimes this one will be gone. So yeah, you might have to. Most of the time taken is going to be running around and running through the actual thing to get to the boss. So yeah, unfortunately this one isn't super fast. It's not ridiculously slow either. It's like, you know, you guaranteed the boss basically in a certain amount of time. So yeah, probably the best thing to do, I'd say, is to get... You start with this way shrine. I'd get the... So there's actually a way shrine here that you can't see. And if I go into the map here, there's actually a way shrine here. So what I would do is get this way shrine, and also maybe this way shrine too, because there's portal here, portal here, portal here. There's a portal over there. This is the portal I just used. There's a portal up here. There's 3 portals up here too. So usually by the time you search all these locations, you'll have found a portal by that point. There's a couple on the map. Usually they lead to different locations in the actual thing, but basically all roads lead to Rome. All of the portals lead to the boss eventually. As you can see here, it's just all fucking spaghetti all over the place, but they all lead to these 3 sections here. Basically, it's like a Titan, and you can just ignore the Titan. I've been able to do that in the past. So the biggest problem I have with this place, and the reason I don't like to come here at all, even for like incursions and stuff, is these enemies can actually see you through cloak. So you basically have to fight them. Which, you know, makes sense in the, you know, the pantheon of Maroon's Dagon, because he is the guy who likes to fight. But it's just so fucking tedious when you have to do this shit over and over every time you come through. I mean, it's not really any better than any of the other incursions, especially like at least this one is remotely doable on like a decent damage field. Oh yeah, you got the big fucking Deadlands harvesters. Kind of cool. Alright, so you just keep going through, go to each area. Now you can skip some of these enemies, basically by crossing the map, like crossing around. But do be warned, some of these areas are really weird. They have like very, very surprisingly restrictive kill boxes. I've had times where I've just been walking along on the edges here, and I've just been killed because it just says fall damage and just says watch your step. So yeah, can be very finicky. There's also a boss here, so they usually should spawn after a little while. You might get lucky when you come through here because all the enemies might be killed by a player as you come through. But most of the time, all the enemies will be there, and you cannot avoid them usually. Because even if you go invisible, they can see you through stealth. It sucks. I fucking hate going through this place. Alright, so when you get to this area here, once you get to this guy here, yeah, you see the Titan. So he's been killed. But if the Titan spawns, and the Roanarch spawn, it's a fucking... It's an interesting fight, but it's a tedious one. You can just go around the edge there, to the left, and as long as you sprint, you can avoid them usually. Coming down here, no matter which direction you come from, you go down the stairs here, and this will always lead to the area that you want to go. There are Dage Rats through here. There is a Mark and Ring of Majesty lead that you get from looting these Dage Rats. So if you don't have that ring yet, it might be a good idea just to make sure you kill them as you go through. Maybe so. So normally this area will be fucking stacked with enemies. The most annoying thing about this is if you try and run past these enemies, the enemies will chain you back in constantly, and it's really annoying. Okay, so this is the guy. Usually, because everybody else wants to do the Oblivion Portal endeavor, they'll probably be here finding this thing. I'll go through some basic info on dealing with it properly. So you hit that, you get a chest. Very rarely you can get a blueprint for like some really expensive stuff. Usually though, the stuff that you get is like hella cheap. Okay, so main things to worry about with this guy is he has like a gap close where he charges across the map. He has a very distinct animation where he's got like his big hammer thing. When he like moves that to the side, like to his side, sort of like he's going to swing it forward in a horizontal action. If he does that, be prepared to roll dodge, because if you don't roll dodge, even if you block it, he knocks you on your ass and you can't break free from it. It's really fucking painful to deal with. That's the only real annoying attack he's got. Everything else is kind of like, just keep moving and usually you can avoid it. But that attack will usually is the thing that will kill me, because while you're on the floor you just can't break free, so just slowly get back up and you just get wrecked by everything else. While he's in his... so every 25% or so, he'll go into the middle and go invulnerable. So at the start, you'll fight a bunch of enemies before you actually attack him. There's like Titans and Ruinarchs. Ruinarchs are a fucking pain in the ass. I hate fighting those things. I usually kill them first. Once you do that, you actually fight him. He'll go into immunity phases, which can be really annoying because it's just like, just waste your time, basically. What happens is there'll be scamps and there'll be like big fire behemoth things. Basically, they look similar to him, except they have like a different skin. They'll walk towards him. If they get to him, they'll stop just like slowly walking and will come after you and be fucking annoying. These scamps will become kamikaze explosives, basically. Just charge it and blow up, and they'll knock you on your ass if you don't block it. Yeah, just try and kill them if you can. They have a lot of health though, so if you don't have a lot of damage, they can be. It might be best just to kill one and then just try and deal with the other ones when they come through. My advice here is just make sure you've got a good build with a lot of survivability. Otherwise it'll be painful. But for the most part, there will be people coming through here to help you. Because whenever this is the endeavor, usually people want to do this one. Not always, but yeah, definitely sometimes. Okay, so last one I'll talk about is killing a player in Cyrodiil. I think this is the worst one of the lot. Even if you don't own Blackwood and can do the Oblivion Portal, I still think these three here are better. But yeah, this one could be quick, but it's very unreliable. You know how players are. So, a couple of things to note about this. It says kill. You don't have to kill them yourself. Even if you don't get the killing blow, as long as you assisted in the kill, even if you just do like a light attack and get like 2 AP, it still counts. As long as the player you affected in any way dies, that's it. So my advice for this is 2 things. Firstly, strength in numbers. Find a group, run with them, get them to help you. Just try and stay either follow a group to where they go to fight a keep. Stay close to them, and if there's enemy players coming in, just try and help them. Like at least focus one person down, or you can stay at a keep yourself and defend it. Keeps themselves are, if it's a ball group that's coming through, you're not going to be able to do anything about them. They can literally just laugh through most stuff you can do. Unless you've got like a dedicated ball group that fights them, but usually those fuckers just avoid each other. But like unorganized groups, you should be fine. Most groups coming to a keep, you'll be able to fight them off as long as you've got like other people to help you. So if you're at a keep and you see enemy players attacking it, just call it out in zone. That's usually what people do. And yeah, just maybe like go the campaign that is busy. Don't go campaigns that are slow, because usually the slow ones, one faction will just take over the entire fucking map, and it's just unless you're on that faction yourself and there's like a couple of players around, it's going to be really difficult to actually do anything in those cases, because everyone usually does their own thing, unless you're obviously good in PvP. Grey Host is the only one I'd really suggest, and if you will do it, because it's the weekend, try and do it on American prime time when more people are on, or not maybe prime time, maybe like the edges of it, because that's when, because otherwise it'll just be pop locked. Standard also gets a little bit populated too on those times, but yeah, because it's the weekend, that's probably your best bet. I would not do these at this time when I'm on, because there's basically fucking nobody on, right? This is the only one that's like actually more than low population, Now, there's a couple of things to mention. If you don't know anything about PvP, it is advisable looking up some guides. Like Malcolm X is a has good builds. Deltius has some good information, some like just general information. There's a couple of other ones out there. You can get some, watch what they do, study their behavior. It could be beneficial to like how it works. TLDR, it's not like PvE. It's like PvP. It's all about bursts. It's not consistent damage. Players will die when you deal a shit ton of damage to them at once, not when you just deal consistent damage. Unless the amount of consistent damage you can do is crazy high. In that case, most players are just going to be able to avoid it anyway. So it's less about consistent damage. It's more about sustain, line of sight breaking, burst damage, lots of buffs, stacking as many good buffs on you as possible, like healing done, healing taken, damage done, weapon damage, like brutality, crit damage, crit chance, all that stuff, really helpful. Minor major protection, vulnerability, all that stuff. And also, one more thing, siege. So if you go to a merchant, you can buy a siege, you can buy 5-volt ballistas and 5-volt trebuchets, or 5-pot trebuchets, sorry. The trebuchets aren't great, but the 5-volt ballistas, if you're defending, or like, if you have a group that an enemy group is like approaching, and the enemy group tries to go in to fight you, hit them with a couple of siege weapons might turn the tide. Can't really do anything against ball groups because they can just heal through anything that you throw at them. But definitely in just like unorganized fights, these things are so bloody good. Couple of you can shoot a couple of blisters in a round, like in a small group, because they need time to reload. So you can jump to each ballista and shoot them. You know what? I'll show you what I mean. So it's just like a quick slot thing. So you've got quick slots, just chuck it on anywhere, and then you put it on the ground, and it just aims, and you just direct it to wherever you want to go. And then you can't put them too close to each other, but you can put them slightly close. So what you do is you shoot this one, then you run over this one, and you shoot this one as well. And you just repeat the process. You can do 3, maybe even 4 ballistae. Maybe 4 is pushing it, but definitely 2 to 3 ballistae at a time. While they're all reloading, if you do them in good succession. And if you can get like 3 ballistas going in a group of enemies that's like trying to push a keep, you will most likely get a kill as long as they're not in a ball group. Yeah. Otherwise, just like maybe get a build with some good crit resistance. You know, maybe if you're not familiar with PvP, go like a healer build, something with a set like go transmutation. Give yourself a ton of critical resistance, and then just go something healing related, you know, like Spellpower Cure, or just something to buff other players around you. Or if you're not sure, maybe just go something tanky, like Pariah. I mean, Pariah's not too good anymore, but Pariah, or you know, you could go classic Rallying Cry. You could go Powerful Assault if you're rich. You could go. What is that called? Medium or light armor, so you can get to be tanky while you still use the lighter armors. Trial by Fire. This is the one. This one I actually really like. As a tanky set, if you just want to heal people and like assist people in killing, this one basically all the time you're basically gonna have an elemental status effect on you. Because people use fire and ice and magic and lightning all the time. This is like, I mean, it's not always going to be powerful, but 8,000 armor is like crazy for PvP standards. So I don't know. This one is like an easy to get set. It's not bad. Now I could try and find someone to kill, but this video is already fucking ridiculously long enough. I really don't want to waste any more of your guys' time. And I'm hopeless when it comes to PvP. It'll be like watching paint dry. Yeah, if you got any questions about that, I can help, but I'm not an expert when it comes to PvP, so I don't know. Most of the help I'll give you will be like, you could get much better from other people. Alright, so that's everything for now. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time, and take care.